What happens with inequality, of course, by definition, is that there are people at the top and people at the bottom. And the extent, the scale of the inequality we have in Cambridge, for example, at the moment, one of the richest cities in the UK, and therefore one of the richest cities in the world, means that Cambridge Food Bank, for example, last year fed 6,000 people, 25% more than last year. There are people in extreme poverty, even in Cambridge, and it's simply not acceptable. In one of the richest cities in the world in 2018, and we try to claim that we're still a civilized society.
Is it getting worse?
Yes. It's getting worse.
Why
the evidence shows that it's getting worse.
Well,
because of failures in the benefit system, because of the unaffordability of housing, which you referred to earlier, where housing in Cambridge is such a particular challenge for people on very, very low incomes. There's a whole series of challenges that need to be addressed.
So, Daniel Zeichner.
Yeah, look, as a Member of Parliament for Cambridge, I see very directly why it's getting worse. And these are a consequence of political decisions that this government has chosen to make. If you cut the welfare system, it's not just dreadful for the people who are on the receiving end of it, it actually destroys the quality of life for everybody else in a city like Cambridge. We do not, in a rich city like Cambridge, want to have rising numbers of people sleeping on the streets. It's dreadful, and people are furious about it, and rightly so.
Daniel's slightly wrong there. The situation with people sleeping on the streets in Cambridge is not central government's fault.
It is. It's the changes to the welfare system.
No, Daniel, you're wrong. The responsibility...
It wasn't there in 2010.
Please let me finish. The responsibility for homelessness on the streets of any city, any town in the UK, lies with the local council. When I was leader of the district council at East Cams, I solved the homeless problem. There is no people on the streets in East Cambridge,
they will come to Cambridge
because of the policies that I put forward. I have offered those policies to Cambridge City Council, and they have not taken them up. I believe that's a deliberate political decision because they want to blame the government for something that they could solve. The government gave the City Council in Cambridge last year £70 million for housing, social housing in the city, and yet there are still people on the streets and those houses are not being built. You can't blame the government for local problems. This is a problem that could be sorted out. Cambridge City Council gets £9.5 million a year simply from car parking in the city.
We've gone all micro.
You can't tell me that, Daniel, that that's not the mistake of the City Council. It is.
Absolutely.
All micro. Look.